So today I'm going to be talking about a Chrome extension that I use for almost every aspect of my Merch by Amazon business. That is Producer or Producter by for Merch by Amazon. It's a Chrome extension. You can find it on the Chrome Web Store. If you're using Edge browser, Opera, and certain other browsers, you should be able to naturally use it. I'm not sure if there are other extensions for like Firefox because they don't use the Chromium backend, but most web browsers you'll be able to use this as an extension. And when you install it, you'll get a page that looks something like this. Now, your default page is going to look different than this, but this is how I have mine set up. So I'm just going to walk you through what it looks like from the top to the bottom here. So you'll get 4 new buttons: a dashboard button, a products button, a designs button, and a statistics button. The only ones I'll be focusing on for this video are the dashboard button and the statistic video or button. Then you'll have some quick access tabs. So this will just open up quick tabs in your browser if you need to create multiple products at once. I don't necessarily use that just because I don't use these increments when I create products. So, but if you do need to open up a browser tabs really quick, this will do it. It will automatically open into the Merch by Amazon create page. And then you can have a list of your expiring products, products by ranking, trademark search, blur hide, which does this right here, hides the products so that you don't. So if you are making content like I'm making here, you're not really revealing your products or niches. And then you can export your any of your data here. It will give you a list of what needs to be fixed for certain listings. And then your settings here. So I'm going to open up settings real quick just to give you a preview of this. So just like Purdy Merch, you can get notifications on sales, and it will actually give you notification on returns, and it will give you notifications on when a product gets a new review. And then you got your currency, and then it will also have below there some login information. And some way for you to connect your Amazon advertising account into the extension also. I'm not going to scroll down because there's some other information there that it won't hide, but I do want to let you know there is more there. You can add additional stuff there to help further customize your login process and further integrate into other Amazon services. So below that, we have your tier rank, which I'm at tier 10,000. Your possible up tiering time frame. This is an estimate. I haven't found it to be too accurate. It says that I need to be tiered up. It's been saying that for a while. How many designs you have live, and then how many designs you have available. So designs are individual images, not products. So your actual products are listed next to it, and then how many free slots you have for that. So each design could have several tens of products associated with it. So, and then it will tell you how many drafts you have, stuff that's being currently reviewed, processed, or translated, and then how many rejections. You can see I have 416 rejections, which is quite a few. The reason why that number is so high is because one design could give me like 30 rejections if I do if I put it on a whole bunch of different products, essentially. And then it tells me what I'm currently uploading, which is 0 at the moment. And then if you connect your Amazon advertising into like you put your, there's an ID number, you put that into the settings. It will also give you your ad spend for the day, which for the individual market that you choose. I'm looking at the US. I do advertise in the UK, but it's not so high there that I need to know that number offhand. And then it will tell you how many orders have came from your ads. So today, so far, I've spent 24, 45, and 6 of my actual orders have come from ads. And then this is just, it updates, it's the database of products that you have, so that all your information just stays up to date. This will just happen in the background automatically. You can force this to happen, but with the refresh button, but it happens on a pretty frequent basis that you don't need to really update it. And your numbers are live here, so these numbers update live, for the most part. So if we move down, we'll start with today's sales numbers. It's exactly what you would expect: how many units you sold, how much royalties you got for each unit, the country of origin. I have in the configure widget, you can show extended statistics. I have that showed so that I could see that I have 15 designs that have sold. The revenue, so that's the total cost of the item, and then how many of the items were completely new designs sold for the first time. And so you can see that that's 2 of them for me. This is, I like to be able to see this offhand, just so that I can compare to a day-to-day, like how many new products are selling on a daily basis. If I'm not seeing any new products selling, I get a little suspicious about what's happening with my ads. So I like to see at least 1 new item sell every day, something that hasn't sold before. And then you got your standard product display here, the cumulative amount of royalties you've got, how many sold. This is your canceled items, returned items, the product retail price. So I sell pop sockets mainly, and the retail price for that's $16.99. And then this other information is not really relevant. But then you get the category of product, which is, this is a pop socket, the total quantity you sold over time, which is 71 for me. Then you have your average review, and then your actual seller rank, your best seller rank. And that will show it for all 16 designs. And then over here, I like to look at my last 8 days. It gives me, and you can set this to look at for each of these lines. So the red line will be the current day, but that gray line, you could change it to be the previous week's numbers, the previous month's numbers, or the previous year's numbers, depending on what time frame you want to compare your data to. I like to compare my current day's numbers versus the last day's numbers for the previous month. So you could see today I've sold 18 units, and if we look at and I've done $58.18 in royalties. If you look at the previous months, I did $104 in royalties. So we got a little ways to go for today. I just like to compare month to month to see if I'm getting some good growth, and you could see that I am actually growing in a trend upwards. And then below, you can get, this is a general sales panel. You can have a ton of different information here, from previous month, previous years, return rate, a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing that I really look at is the previous month's numbers, and then the current month numbers. So you'll get the accumulative. So this is all marketplaces, and it does a live conversion to the dollar rate for other marketplaces. So these numbers here are US dollars, as best they could convert to US dollars from the currency that it was originally bought in. And the reason I like this is because I don't have to do any math in my head to figure out how much a pound sterling is going to be in USD, or a franc or whatever, a yen is going to be in USD. So it just tells me a flat dollar amount. This may fluctuate based on exchange rates month over month, but it gives you a good rough estimate of what the dollar value will be. And I like to have a good idea of what my current month is working towards. So currently I am above my current month is doing better than my previous month, just based off these numbers here, because I'm recording this on the 9th, I believe. the 10th, March 10th. So we're only about a week and a half into the first month, into this month, and we got a sell there, and we're already about a little bit past a third of the way into the previous month. So we're doing pretty good right now. And then I get an overview of what happened on the previous day. I like to keep this panel up so that I can compare today's sales versus the day before, just so that I can get a good idea if I'm doing better day after day. And then that's pretty much all I keep on. This is my main dashboard. So whenever I'm in the looking at Merch by Design, I'm most likely in this dashboard mode because this gives me every relevant information that I need for my account for that day. Now, if you're reviewing your account over the course of a longer period of time, they do have this statistics panel. So if we go over there, let it load up. And it won't look like this when you initially set it up. It will have, if you hit this edit button, you can actually put a whole bunch of other widgets on there that you might be interested in for the data. Since I sell mainly pop sockets, some of these widgets don't really matter to me, like colors and like size information, stuff like that. That stuff doesn't matter because a pop socket just comes in one color, which is black. Even though, quick fact about pop sockets, they sell it as a black pop socket as the base color being black, but it is not necessarily a black base color. I have had reviews saying that they were mailed a white base color for the pop socket. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your designs. The black may not be the base color for the pop socket when when that customer actually gets it. I like to my stats here. I like to have my current months next to my previous month, then my current year next to my previous year's sales, and then here is the revenue split. So currently I'm doing about 20% of the revenue share is coming to me, and then Amazon is keeping the rest. This is off of the total retail price. So not off of the royalties or anything of that nature. This is the $16.99. Amazon is keeping 80% of that. I'm keeping 20% of that. And then this is a sales forecast. So this is based off of previous sales data, how much it thinks that you will end the month with. This is a good metric to see if you're actually staying in line with what the algorithm thinks that you should be. Sometimes you'll hit a little under this, and sometimes you hit over this, but on average, if you're hitting somewhere around where this number is, it gives you a good idea that you're staying at least trending in the direction that the algorithm thinks that you should be trending in. The reason I like to keep these year information here is just to see if I'm doing better over the last year. Obviously, this year is doing substantially better than last year. I'm already essentially doubled the amount of royalties that I got for the entirety of last year, and it's only in March right now. And that's mainly because of ads. If you scroll down here, you have a adjustable timeline where you can kind of just get a good estimate of where your royalties are compared to the other times of the year in previous years. And this is you got a quick access button here that will kind of just automatically adjust the time frame for you if you don't want to manually use the little trend line here. And then below you have your sold products quick editor, so you can just select all your products if you'd like and do some bulk editing for these particular products. I don't really use this. I don't like to do bulk edits. I like to be very granular with my changes because I don't want to make mistakes on a large scale. Let's save that layout there. And that's pretty much what it looks like on the back end, the dashboard back end here. Now, there are some other features that it will add to the actual page listing for Amazon, and we'll take a look at them. So on the create page, this is the page you go to actually create the design. I put a little bit of information here just to give you an illustration of what will happen. It does let you know that there are certain words that are banned. There's a default list that's already attached in your settings, that it will pull off of, but you can add words to that list that you also wanted to remind you are banned. Because the banned word list, while it does get updated, it doesn't get updated completely, because Amazon doesn't give us like 100% reliable list for us to know what words they allow us to use. So you can manually add or remove words to the list. And you can see here like gift or pop socket. They don't want you referring to a product that's a gift, or alluding that the product is specifically towards a particular product type. Same thing here. They strongly recommend that you don't reference the product type. And this is just some default stuff that I pulled off of a pop socket listing and pasted in there, because I wanted to illustrate that it also will do some keyword selections based off the information that you put in there. It will tell you your focused words. So these are words it thinks that your listing is trying to focus, and it will tell you the quantity of times that you've used that word in the entirety of building out the listing. And then it will put together some long-term keywords, long-tail keywords that it thinks that you may be interested in. And these are good because you want to be able to have a good understanding about how a robot sees your listing, because that's what Amazon's going to do when it looks at your listing. It's going to be doing the exact same process. So you can log these words, and when you create your ad campaign, these may be words that you're interested in, or seeing what it shows here, you may find that, hey, I actually want to tweak some of my listing because it's not showing me the keywords that I actually want this to be focused on. And so you could do that live, and it will update live. And it will suggest words that it thinks that are related based on other keywords that are on Amazon and keywords that are on Google. And then that's pretty much it. It does allow you to save drafts within the actual extension, but I don't actually use that feature. But if we actually go to the Amazon listing page, this is the major research element part of Productor that I like the most. So what it will do is it will scrape the pages of Amazon search and kind of allow you to more directly view the information without having to try to figure out stuff. So currently I have it set to just look at the top 5 pages. So whenever I type in PopSocket, the top 5 pages for that it scrape that, it put them onto one single page. So this is one single page. And it gave me the price averages, the average sell ranks, and the median rank for them of the 5 pages. The review type, like the amount of actual reviews, and then an average for all products, and then the ratings for each of the reviews in the average, and then the sold percentage. So of the 5 pages that it scraped, 99.3 of them have sold at least one time. I'm not logged in, and I haven't gave it my my account information, so it doesn't know how many of these pages are associated with me. So that's why it doesn't show how many of my personal products are on this page. But you can actually have it go and look at the top 30 pages all the way down to just one page. Be careful, though, because the more pages you put on there, the more information it needs to load. Oops, we'll go back here. The more information it needs to load, and that process takes a while. The more pages it has, and sometimes Chrome or the browser that you're using doesn't have enough memory to store that data in, and so the extension itself will crash. So you just want to be very careful of how many tabs you have open when you're trying to to use this depending on how many pages you're scraping, because the browser itself might, or the extension itself might run out of memory and crash. So I'm going to put it to one page because I want this to happen quicker since it somehow clicked on something. So let's just look at the first page here. And you can see how much faster that was. And so you can sort things by bestseller rank, rocket sellers. So these are products that are new products but have a increasing product rank. Review type, you could sort by advertising. So because it will actually see advertising, it will sort the advertised product there too if you have ads on. I recommend that you keep ads on because you want to know what products are being advertised on the first pages of search also. So you want to, because you want to be able to target the advertised products also. Even if the original listing isn't on the first page, if they're winning the page 1 ranking, you want to be on that product page because they're still getting a lot of clicks to that product page. I hope that wasn't too confusing. And then you could sort by price, you could sort by the time was added, or just sort by your own products. I like to, when I first start this, just to look at the bestseller rankings. And that's going to automatically sort everything by the lowest ranking to the highest ranking. This gives me a good idea of what products are selling the best for the keywords that I'm using. Then what I'll also do is look at the rocket sellers. So these aren't necessarily products that have high bestseller rankings, but they're moving up the rankings fast. And so this gives me a good idea of like what's actually selling versus what just has a good rank. So because these products right here are going to always have very low rankings because they do sell a lot, but there's multiple products in this listing which allow that ranking to go lower. Whereas like something like this is a merch on demand product. It has just this single product here. So if we actually go into like this here, all these products here are contributing to this rank, this bestseller rank. So if you click on this, you notice the bestseller rank doesn't change. It's because they're all getting the same ranking. They're all getting the same ranking, even though they're different products. Whereas like a merch product here, if we go to a merch product, only has one product that can increase the bestseller ranking. So that's why I like to see like what products are rising up and down here. It will also it will give you some more information here. I have that turned off right now, but it will give you like the information like when the product was uploaded, what's the category it sells in, and what's the ranking within the categories it sells in. So just stuff like that. Stuff like this here, but in a much easier to read and faster to access because it's just right here at the bottom of the listing. So that's kind of how I use this page here for kind of research within like a niche. Obviously, I'm not just looking at pops. Well, sometimes I do just look at like what's trending right now in PopSockets, but I will more specifically go a niche down and then see what's trending within that niche. And then also you can select specific products and export the ASINs for that product. I use like so what I'll do for an advertising campaign, when I want to target a specific keyword niche. So let's say I'm like cat PopSockets. I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't want to go after the keyword cat PopSockets. A lot of competition. But if for some reason you decide you want to go after that keyword, you type in cat PopSockets and you get a list of PopSockets based around cats. You can export that every single page. So if I had like 10 pages here, what it will do is it will look at every single listing for all 10 pages, and it will give me an exported list of every ASIN that it's seen on all 10 pages. And what this is good for is I can go into my advertising campaign, and I can create a ad group that targets every single one of them products. And now I can run that campaign for a couple weeks and see which products on the top 10 pages for this keyword actually converts for me. And now I have a list of targeted products that I can further target, that I know convert well for this keyword. So it's a little tip. I'll go into more details about how my ad strategies in other videos, but that's just a little bit of how I use this extension to even help my ads for Amazon advertising. So I hope that you guys got some information from this video that was useful, and that will possibly help you make more sales. I'll have the link in the description to the Google Chrome link for this extension, or you could just search this product name and it will most likely be the first product on the first listing on the Google search. And please, if you like this video, you found anything entertaining or anything helpful, even if it was just the smallest little tiny bit of information, hit the like button and hit the sub button. If you found something interesting here, you'll find something interesting in my next videos, and you want to know when they come out. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.